Hi everyone, just wanted to warn you that the quality of this video is probably not that good because it's in my school building and there's fluorescent lights everywhere. But my topic for my op-ed that I chose was single-sex schooling. And the main reason why I was interested in doing this topic is that in my hometown, there's a single-sex boarding school for girls, and then there's a single-sex boarding school for boys. And I always went to the public school, but I was always really interested because I grew up with a lot of the girls in the community and boys also, but primarily girls that went to the single sex schooling. And it was really interesting to hear their take on what they ended up getting out of it. And then I also grew up going to girls' camp. So it kind of made me think a little bit about that and how that was influenced by going to a single gendered camp as opposed to a co ed camp. So, for my two scholarly or journal articles, one of them was from, let me check really quick, I keep forgetting, the Anthropology and Education Quarterly. That was an article about whether or not single sex schools actually improve education of low income and minority students. And then that was through an investigation in California. And then the second article I chose to look at was from the National Forum of Educational Administration and Supervision. And that was an article that touted mostly the advantages of a single sex education. Um, so both these articles kind of had different ideas. They weren't complete opposites. As we pointed out in the rubric, they didn't need to be completely opposite. But my first article that examined the California schools really kind of came to the conclusion that just single gendering classes didn't really make enough of a difference in order to call it advantageous over a co-ed situation. Mostly what determined whether a school was successful or not was through relationship building with students, overall organization of the school, and then the rigor of the curriculum, and a couple other factors as well. But just the gendering of the students wasn't enough to really prove anything particular. The second article that was outlining the advantages of single sex education really pointed out some more concrete elements about the effects of gendering in schools. And I think that article mostly made me want to side with agreeing with the option of having single sex schooling. So, mostly what I was focusing on was whether or not public systems should be able to have single sex schooling within their districts, have the option for a single sex classroom. And that kind of goes back to our elements of choice that we talked about in class. And I definitely think that it should be a choice, maybe not in all districts, but especially in large urban districts that already have a lot of specialty programming within their schools. Take MPS, for example, which we've discussed with like their magnet programs, arts programs, a variety, even here at Groppe, remedial programs, things like that. I do think having a single sex option would be a great choice. And maybe just to see how it goes. Right now, there's really limited amount of public single school options. So that's kind of my take. Not really considering like the elite private sphere of those single sex boarding schools or things like that, but just talking about within the public system, is there room for single sex options? And I definitely think there should be. Thanks for listening.